Welcome to Jerez, a circuit steeped in Spanish motorcycle racing heritage. Around its 4.43 kilometer layout, corners bear the names of legends Lorenzo, Crivier, Pedrosa and Marquez. A tribute to the icons who have helped shape the sport at all levels. But today, it's not just about the past, it's about the future. And leading the charge in the European Talent Cup is another prodigious Spanish talent, Carlos Cano. Cano won here in 2024 en route to the European Talent Cup title, and the reigning champion returns to the south of Spain, already a race winner in 2025. Confident, fast and fiercely determined, he is the rider to watch as the next generation looks to write its own chapter at this legendary venue. Bienvenido a Jerez, let's go racing. But last time out, it was Cano who started from pole position in mixed conditions in Estoril. Disappointment came for Julius Frelsen and Anton Nativi as they crashed out of the action early on. Barbaglio was another rider who failed to get to grip with the conditions, and he was not the only one. The pole sitter and reigning champion Cano crashed out of contention in race one, and in the end, a maiden win went the way of Fernando Bujosa after a hugely impressive performance. Race two saw more drama, and now dusted down and ready to go. Cano once again launched for pole. There was early drama, Travis Borg and Kiandra Ramadipa colliding, earning Borg a long lap penalty for race one in Jerez. While out front, it was a showdown between Cano and Bujosa, with the two going blow for the win. But it was Carlos Cano who picked up his first win of the campaign, with Fernando Bujosa later disqualified from that race. Yeah, brilliant stuff in Estoril last time out in the European Talent Cup. It kind of had it all. It had comebacks, it had heartbreak, and some drama after the checkered flag. Fernando Bujosa took his first win in the European Talent Cup in race one with a dominant performance as Carlos Cano crashed out. Then the duo went head-to-head, with Cano winning the race to the line while Bujosa was disqualified post-race for a technical infraction. As you can see, it's quite hot here in Jerez. We've one race done already in the JuniorGP class, no spoilers here, but there will be a second later, and this is also the first of two European Talent Cup races. I'm Chris Jordan as we look at the Tio Pepe sign, and I'm joined by a man who knows a thing or two about wine. That is Conor Doherty. Conor, are you looking forward to European Talent Cup race one here in Jerez?
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to be here in Andalusia with you for more ETC action. What about that? Another little lovely bird watching on as well.
I know, there's been a lot of ornithology this weekend. Can't say I'm an expert in the matter, but Conor, you seem to know a little bit more about me. Do you know what type of bird that was?
I could hazard a guess. I mean, I feel like we ought to know what kind of bird that was, because it didn't look like a particularly, I don't know, strange, exotic bird. It might have just been a sparrow.
It could have been. It could have been. Let's say my ornithology days have never arrived. Here we go. We're looking at him again. So I'd love if anyone at TV Direction knows that, and we'd love to get an image close up. Brilliant stuff. The start of the show so far.
What we need is some kind of chiron there.
A chiron there to let us know.
Tell us which it is.
Anyways.
It's not planet Earth. We're here for the ETC.
Enough rambling. European Talent Cup race one awaits us here, the first of two, as we mentioned. Pit lane exit closes in 2 minutes, so you see some of the riders out and about on track already, and we're looking at Carlos Cano, who will start from pole position here. Carlos Cano, the reigning champion. That's why he bears the number one, and he will go from number one on the grid.
I am very happy for this second pole position in this year, and yes, today the weather condition is very hot, and now I focus for tomorrow for the races, and I try to do a very good start, and I try also to win the race. And I thank people who support me, my family, my team, and everybody. Thank you.
A 1:49.078 from Carlos Cano sees him start from pole position. He's part of that UAX 72 Artbox team. Another real jewel in the crown of Emilia Alzamora, who's got a number of talented riders, it must be said, in both European Talent Cup and, of course, in Junior GP. So, Carlos Cano, your reigning champion, start from pole position. As we mentioned earlier, crashed out of race 1 in Estoril, but was back on the top step in race 2. Sits 4th in the championship currently, with Alex Longarella leading the way. Longarella didn't stand on the top step, but a double podium from the Snipers IGAX rider sees him lead the championship coming into this one. But what about this rider, the number 46? You need to have some talent if you're going to wear the number 46 on your bike. And this rookie rider, Alvaro Lucas, part of the Aspar Junior team, certainly seems to have some. Kind of came out of nowhere maybe in the European Talent Cup opening day to sit second now in the championship. Didn't get on the podium, but a couple of strong results for him. Sees him well placed in the championship, and now he has backed it up here under the scorching heat of Jerez, starting second on the grid.
Yeah, absolutely incredible qualifying for Alvaro Lucas. I do believe he's one of the youngest riders we're going to be seeing this weekend as well. So he's shown just how capable he is of performing in these conditions, and that almost belies a certain maturity which maybe you wouldn't have expected from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it needs to be remembered that these European Talent Cup riders are amongst the youngest we'll see on the grid here today. It's the European Talent Cup, and then they will move on to typically the Junior GP, maybe sometimes to the Moto2 European Championship, but they need to be at least 16 years of age to do that. Many of these riders falling below that age threshold. Fernando Bujosa then. A little bit of agony and ecstasy, I think you could say, for him in Estoril. Victory, a maiden victory in the European Talent Cup, and a pretty dominant victory amid the mixed conditions. It was a brilliant ride from Bujosa, but then he backed it up with a great ride in race 2, but was later disqualified for a technical infraction. So I don't want to say it soured the weekend, but maybe dampened the celebration somewhat.
Yeah, I feel like if it happened the other way around, it wouldn't have been so irritating for him and his team. But the fact that it happened in race 2 when he was disqualified,
yes,
he wasn't able to make up for it. This time around, well, he's got a real chance to prove himself once again, and they'll be hoping there aren't any issues with bike weight this time around.
Absolutely. It's all about proving yourselves in the European Talent Cup, as we look at Gonzalo Perez previously, but Ignacio Galan here, the young Spanish rookie as well. Competed in 3 ETC races in 2024. He's still a rookie in 2025. Didn't pick up any points, but they did a great qualifying from Galan to see him 6th on the outside of the second row.
Yeah, it's his best ever qualifying in this class. Previously, he'd taken a P11, but this time, as you say, second row.
Eduardo Gutierrez then launches from the head of the third. 14 points picked up in Estoril. It was a pretty solid outing, that has to be said. For Gutierrez, he'll be hoping to continue that momentum that he found early days in Estoril.
Yeah, absolutely. And this time around, last year in Jerez, he started from the back of the grid and made real inroads, plowing through the field from P30 to P18 and P21. This time he's in an excellent position to take advantage of a place on the third row.
Yeah, also on the third row is Oliver Cantos, part of that famed Estrella Galicia 00 team. Estrella Galicia, of course, known to have a keen eye for up-and-coming talent. Speaking of up-and-coming talent, it's Travis Borg. Connor, how impressive was Borg on debut? The Maltese rider, very unfortunate not to have a podium in race 1. Had that final corner moment where he ran it wide at Parabolica Ayrton Senna, ran into the gravel, costing him a podium. He did still manage to finish inside the top 6. Race 2, unfortunately though, for Borg, he crashed out early. Got the braking wrong going into turn 1, wiped out Singapong, Kiatasak Singapong, and has earned a long lap penalty for this race. Having spoken to the team, they've accepted the penalty, but they were very impressed with Travis's performance in race 1.
Yeah, it was an absolutely sensational performance. Really declared his presence on the scene at this level. Absolutely fantastic ride from Travis Borg.
Yeah, he parked it on the front row as well on his very first outing in European Talent Cup. So starting a little bit further back on the outside of the third row, for Borg, but wouldn't be surprised. He's an aggressive rider, the MLab Racing rider, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make an early charge here. On the next row back, we've seen Kerr Martinez, Izan Rodriguez, while Anton Nativi closes out the 4th row. So, just a few moments to go before we start on the warm-up lap as we look at Anton Nativi, the JEG Takeoff GP team. The number 9 unfortunately crashed out of race 2, I think it was, in Estoril. So we'll be looking to get some good points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a Northern Talent Cup graduate as well, and it's great to see riders coming through that Road to MotoGP program.
So just a couple of moments to go as we take a look at Ethan Sparks, qualifying high up on the grid. It's very good stuff from the young British rider. So we saw plenty of riders come to the fore. Naturally, it was some of the riders who have been in this class a couple of years. Obviously, it goes without saying your reigning champion, Carlos Cano, but Alex Longarella, Fernando Bojosa and Gonzalo Perez were all front runners in Estoril. But Alvaro Lucas, the rookie rider who definitely impressed the most first time out, he's now starting 2nd on the grid here in Jerez. Certainly one to keep an eye on. And as we mentioned, he's got the number 46, Connor.
Does someone else famously have an association with that number in motorsport?
I'm not quite sure. But if you do have that number 46 and you're trying to make it your own, you need to have an enormous amount of talent. So, almost go time here, and this is your race 1 grid from the European Talent Cup.
On row 1, Cano, Lucas and Longarella. Behind them on row 2, Bojosa, Perez and Galan. And on row 3, Gutierrez, Cantos and Borg. Behind them on row 4 is Tinez, Rodriguez and Nativi. On row 5, Sparks, Marulanda and Miroslavov. Row 6, Boxberger, Sanchez and Carpucci. Behind them on row 7, Da Costa, Osorio and Almeida. On row 8, Ramadipa, Tessini and Pons. On row 9, Borelli, Rostagni and Matsudaira. On row 10, Via, Tamburini and Gabrini, the last two of course getting through the last chance race.
Time for the warm-up lap then. Riders get a chance to put a bit of heat into the tyres ahead of lights out. And we mentioned once or twice in the Junior GP category, and we'll mention it once or twice, I'm sure, during the European Talent Cup race, but it is very, very hot out here. Tyre degradation will certainly come into play. It's 35 plus degrees now, I think, so yeah, it's going to be a tough outing for these riders, particularly in those leathers under the helmet. If they're getting bunched up in a crowd of motorcycles, I can imagine there are far better. Well, 33 degrees. So it's getting there to the plus 35.
I think it's getting there, and it's definitely going to be getting warmer and warmer as the day goes on. Not just the air temperature, but that track temperature as well. And managing those tyres is going to be absolutely crucial. That's where these riders are going to be showing their tactical nuance, I think.
Yeah, racecraft is definitely going to be a factor here. So these are the next generation of European Talent Cup riders. Of course, not just European riders here. We've got riders from all across the world participating in the European Talent Cup. So let's see what their racecraft is like in these scorching conditions. Very different to what we experienced in Estoril last time out. You're looking at 33 degrees air temperature, so track temperature will be a little bit higher. It's going to be a greasy, slippy surface. So let's see how riders handle the conditions. As we look at the live championship, it's Longarella, 36 points. He holds a 10-point advantage over Alvaro Lucas. Lucas picked up a pair of P4s in Estoril. Fernando Bojosa, your race 1 winner, before picking up 0 points due to a disqualification in race 2 on 25. Tied with Carlos Cano. Cano winning race 2, but crashing out of race 1. Hopefully less drama for the duo of riders than today, as some riders peel into the long lap penalty loop at the final corner. The left-hander Jorge Lorenzo corner. Iconic turn where many races have been decided across all motorcycle racing categories through the years. Will we see it decided at the final corner today? Well, who knows what's in store, but it's Carlos Cano who's going to start from pole position ahead of Alvaro Lucas. Alex Longarella on the front row. Longarella, double podium in Estoril, still waiting for that first win. Does he have the pace to go with the hugely impressive #1, Carlos Cano, the reigning champion, out to do the double? It's almost go time then here in race 1 for the European Talent Cup. 14 laps await us. The flags are off and eyes on the lights. The revs rise and we are go. And it's a good start from Alvaro Lucas, but an even better start for the number 45, Alex Longarella. Carlos Cano from pole position just did not get off the line there at all. So it is Longarella over Lucas. Indeed, it's Fernando Bojosa who's charged through from the second row to take second position. Brilliant stuff from Bojosa. So dream launch from the line for Longarella and Bojosa.
Yeah, absolutely sensational start there from those riders. It's quite surprising to see Cano not getting off the line as well as he would have liked. I mean, it's something they would have practiced, but he might be dropping down a bit now. I would not rule out a rider like Alex Cano. There's a reason why he wears that #1 plate. And he's been working on race pace throughout this entire weekend.
Oh, they touch Gonzalo Perez and Fernando Bojosa. Rub shoulders down the back straight.
And look who takes advantage.
And Carlos Cano takes advantage, but that was Gonzalo Perez. I just know that the number 12 had gained a few places and made an aggressive charge. But that was slightly too aggressive, you would have to say. But thankfully, both riders remain upright. But it's Carlos Cano who profits, but not for very long. It's Eduardo Gutierrez now who charges through to the lead. Oh, we've lost Anton Nativi, I think, Evan Boxberger, excuse me, who is out of the race early on. Is he going to rejoin? He'll rejoin at the end. But wow, Eduardo Gutierrez then out in front. Cano has been relegated to third. Fernando Bojosa has recovered. It's an AC Racing Team 1-2, and Gonzalo Perez is still on the charge. He was diving up the inside of Carlos Cano there at turn 11. Has he made the move stick? He hasn't. Cano has responded. It looked for all the world that Perez was going to get the better of Cano there, but Cano showing his brilliance. As we go around then for the first lap, it's Jorge Lorenzo corner through to the start finish line. And leading the first lap is Fernando Bojosa over the line, over Edu Gutierrez. But Gutierrez now has the inside line. Will he make one stick up on his teammate? No, Bojosa is a bit later on the brakes, has the outside line, cuts the nose off the number 14. Gonzalo Perez, though, has moved up into third position. Carlos Cano relegated to fourth.
Yeah, what an incredible opening lap there. Let's just see that contact.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
very aggressive stuff.
Yeah, Fernando Bojosa, I don't know how he managed to stay upright there. He's still in the lead here. His teammate, though, Gutierrez, having a little look up the inside as he got the tighter line. No, that's still good from Bojosa to hold on. Gonzalo Perez, though, that is going wide. Carlos Cano looking to profit through the middle, but I have to say, that was a scary incident between both Bojosa and Perez, and Bojosa did remarkably well to stay upright.
Absolutely. And
but on we go, it's Bojosa. Bojosa, who has still got the lead. We've seen his teammate now, Gutierrez, a couple of occasions try and threaten a move past the race 1 winner from Estoril. Carlos Cano in third position, but it is Gonzalo Perez who is charging hard. This, I have to say, we mentioned Travis Borg. We thought was going to have an aggressive start, but Borg is sitting in P11 as things stand. It's Gonzalo Perez who has come charging out of the blocks, firing on all cylinders across the opening lap or two here. Brilliant stuff to watch from the Frando Racing rider. And he's charging towards the podium places, but it's Carlos Cano who has the advantage. This is what happened to Evan Boxberger. And he has now gone into pit lane. So clearly not everything right with that bike. So race 1 over, not day over for Boxberger. Now, down the front straight we go. It's Bojosa who led over the line, and Alvaro Lucas getting up the inside of Gonzalo Perez there. Very, very close, you would have to say. Interestingly, Bojosa led over the line there, and Gutierrez and Cano couldn't get close enough to make a move into turn 1. So, as things stand, Bohosa leads over Gutierrez. Cano holds into third position. Gonzalo Perez, we've seen him make a couple moves already on Cano. And here comes another one. He takes P3 out off the hands of Cano. Then it is Alex Longarella, who had that dream start on lap 1, but he's fallen off the pace somewhat of the leaders. Alvaro Lucas then in 6th position, and again Fernando Bohosa is out of the seat.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely incredible stuff from Gonzalo Perez, who's now gone wide himself. This is chopping and changing all the time. Perez was just appearing from all different positions and making moves. He's so aggressive, and well, it didn't pay off for him in the end there, and it's currently looking very difficult for him as he falls back down the line.
Yeah, all that drama then. It's the number 14 who leads off the AC Racing team. It is Gutierrez. Here we go. We're going to see what happened. Keep an eye on the number 69. Out of the seat once already today. It's Gonzalo Perez pulls out to his left, and again they collide. Again they collide. This time you'd have to say it's very much a racing incident, but it was Bohosa who went into the back of Perez that time around. But twice they've collided already across the opening 3 laps, Connor, and they're still running here in podium contention, in victory contention. European Talent Cup. It's hot outside, it's very hot on track.
Never change, ETC, never change. It's been so dramatic so far, and I'm sure we've got so much more drama to enjoy here. But Bohosa's doing incredibly well to maintain this pace in this heat for the time being, but this leading group is going to be making it so difficult for him. Now we just have confirmation of a new best race lap for Karpushin, 1:48.6. That's an absolutely sensational speed to be setting.
It's a scorching pace. He's a 1:48.6. He's the only rider into the 1:48s last time around, the Kyrgyzstani rider. He's running in 7th position, so he's very much in contention here. This would be a cracking result. There he is, the number 70, side by side with Ignacio Galan. If he can get himself up a little bit further, you never know. Karpushin very much in contention here if he maintains that pace. But back out front, it's Alex Longarella who has taken the lead over Fernando Bohosa. So here we go. This is the race start. Keep an eye on Cano. It's a slow start off the line. Then the number 45, Alex Longarella. You see Bohosa, number 69. Slot in behind Alvaro Lucas. Not for long though. The 69 of Bohosa passing Alvaro Lucas for 2nd place. Longarella firing off the outside of the front row to lead. Cano though, shocking start, but it hasn't cost him too dearly, you have to say, with this lead group forming. Now, Yaroslav Karpushin at the Frando Racing VHC team said a 1:48.6 last time around. He's now running in 6th position. He's got the number 12 of Gonzalo Perez just ahead of him. Carlos Cano, though, making a move for the podium positions here. That's Fernando Bohosa, who's sitting in 3rd position, but just manages to hold up. But Karpushin very much on the charge here. Let's see what the lap times are coming around this time. A couple more riders into the 1:48, including Alex Longarella and Edu Gutierrez. Indeed, Gutierrez just missing out on the 1:48. Gonzalo Perez in there, Alvaro Lucas in there as well. Karpushin, though, a 1:48.6. Again, the fastest rider on track, I think. Yeah. So Karpushin is charging hard here. He's on the outside. Oh, he's a bit too far outside of Perez there. That's going to cost him.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw an excellent move from Bohosa there to move into P2, and now he's right on the back wheel of Alex Longarella. So Bohosa biding his time now for the time being, but he's going to be making his move soon. You can be sure of that. While Cano also is just trying to get the best of Gonzalo Perez there.
Yeah, it's absolute mayhem here in Jerez. It's 4 abreast there and almost going in towards Dani Pedrosa. Oh, Gonzalo Perez. Oh, he was knocked once, he was knocked twice, but it's the 3rd time that he falls down. A collision there, and look at that frustration from Perez. It was a heck of a ride he was putting in. Very aggressive from the get-go from Perez. Collided into Bohosa on the opening lap. Then Bohosa collided into his rear wheel just a lap or 2 ago. But now this time there is no saving it for the number 12. Let's have a look at what went wrong here. This time is he into the...
Oh, just touches the wheel there.
Into the back of... Was that... It wasn't Bohosa again, was it? No, it was Edu Gutierrez.
Yeah.
So the other AC Racing team rider.
Not getting on with the AC Racing.
Yeah, my oh my, Gonzalo Perez. Well, back out front though, and here we go. Karpushin is now into the podium places amid all that drama and the chaos, and I don't know where to look, Connor, but it's Bohosa who's leading, Alex Longarella in second position. There's no surprises there, but look at that, Yaroslav Karpushin. He is charging hard here, and he is in the podium places. Carlos Cano is back in 5th position, and Alvaro Lucas is in 4th.
It's the ETC, and anything can happen, Chris, and that's what we're witnessing here. Really unfortunate for Perez there. I mean, he must be absolutely devastated. We saw his frustration, but back at the front, Bohosa is looking very, very strong. We saw what he was capable of in Estoril, and he's delivering again here in Jerez.
Yeah, Bohosa, Longarella, Carlos Cano. It's the usual suspects, but I don't think I'm mentioning it up, but Yaroslav Karpushin, look at him now, he takes the inside line. Is he going from P3 into P2? Well, there's a few riders abreast there. It looks like Karpushin's going to lose some positions here, but Karpushin's come from 18th on the grid to be in this podium battle. Indeed, he's not just in the podium battle, he's in the victory fight. But it's led by Alex Longarella as we speak, the Snipers IGAX team, number 45, but he's got Bohosa now making a move up the inside, 3 abreast, just outside the podium positions. Look at this. This is brilliant, brilliant racing. ATC at its very, very best.
Yeah, Alvaro Lucas there as well, showing us just how brilliant he is. Such a precocious talent, just 14 years of age. He's now moved into P3, and this battle is looking on for the time being. And it's just Karpushin. Is he going to make a move? He's not going to, as we head towards the final corner on this lap. Turn number 13, and we're going into the start-finish straight.
Alvaro Lucas there, firing it up the inside, taking the narrower, tighter line around the Jorge Lorenzo corner. He comes out of that in 3rd position. Now, Bohosa is going to lead over the line, is he? Well, Alex Longarella pulls it out. Who's going to lead coming out of turn 1? Longarella leads going into it. Alvaro Lucas gets up the inside of Fernando Bohosa with Karpushin in 4th position. Carlos Cano still riding in 5th. He's battling with the number 14 of Edu Gutierrez. And Cano does get ahead of Gutierrez. Then at the back of that, it's Ignacio Galan. Galan, one of the only riders still in the 148s. Also Yaroslav Karpushin. Yaroslav Karpushin back into the 148s. Everyone else in the 149s around him. Alvaro Lucas into the 148s as well. But out front, it's trapping, changing. It's brilliant. It's it's unmissable. It's gripping. Watch here, Connor.
Gripping, I think, is a very excellent term to use, as the grip is going to be getting less and less as this race goes on. That track is going to be sweating in this sweltering heat. And Cano looks like he might have
Carlos
just taken
Cano,
the
but look at
lead,
this move
but
from the
not for
inside.
long. It's Alvaro Lucas now who's
Lucas
leading.
who leads, but did you see that move from Fernando Bohosa cutting in behind Cano? Oh, brilliant stuff, and now he leads ahead of Alvaro Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely sensational stuff here. We did wonder who was going to be taking advantage of those 2 straights here in Jerez, because we saw it was absolutely vital to the race in Estoril, just how the riders took advantage of the straight and the slipstream, and well, it's proving to be very important yet again.
Absolutely. Getting into the slipstream here can be pivotal. It's not quite as long the straight here as we get in some of the other circuits, with Estoril being, I think, nearly a kilometre in length. Here is about half, but there are plenty of drafting opportunities. So we're about to see one here. It's Alvaro Lucas who leads coming out of the final corner and about to lead going across the line. But we're going to see Fernando Bohosa pull out of his slipstream and make a move for the lead. No, we're not. We're going to see Yaroslav Karpushin relegate Bohosa to 3rd position. Karpushin showing some incredible pace here. Brilliant stuff from the Kyrgyzstani rider. Carlos Cano then getting in the inside of the number 14, Edu Gutierrez, and forcing Gutierrez wide. That's cost him a couple of positions. Carlos Cano, it has to be said, he's very much in the victory fight here, but he hasn't done much of the front running. We've not seen him at the lead group that often. He's kind of sitting 4th, 5th position, perhaps just biding his time a little bit. Clearly nothing to separate these riders. It's not about who leads coming out of the final corner, it's about who leads going over the line. And we've still got 6.5 laps till we get to that stage. So Bohosa once again pulling into the lead. Cano making move for 3rd position, with Alvaro Lucas settling into 2nd position. Karpushin then very much one of the fastest riders on track once again. Karpushin 149.6, so it's a little bit slower than we had been going, but there's a lot more chopping and changing
Yeah, it's Bujosa now who's leading from Alvaro Lucas, but not for long. Well, he's taking it back now, but oh, Miroslav is down as well.
Yeah, a couple of riders at the back, Oliver Cantos and Nikola Maroslavov, both out of the race. We hope that they are both okay. The Estrella Galicia 0-0 riders, yeah, they've both gone down at the same corner too, haven't they? Just going in, Danny Pedrosa corner there, I think. Or indeed, it's the turn 5. But yeah, unfortunate then, Cantos starting pretty high up on the grid on 3rd row, so disappointment for him as it is for Miroslavov. Now back at the front, it continues to chop and change. Concerned looks inside the TF Moto Aspar Junior team box, and why not? They've got their rookie rider, the number 46, Alvaro Lucas. Oh, he's a bit of a bobble there coming around turn 1, wasn't there? Well, he's battling for the lead, but he's dropped down again. He's shaking there a little bit. So, Alvaro Lucas very much in the fight here, but not his best moment in this race. Back out front, it's Fernando Bujosa over Alex Longarella with Carlos Cano settling into 3rd position. We've got a yellow flag at turn 5. I would imagine just from the previous crashes for the Estrella Galicia 0-0 duo. So Longarella now leading the race, the number 45. As we see, it's going to chop and change once again here in the chasing pack behind them.
Yeah,
but out front it remains Longarella over Bujosa with Carlos Cano.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a race so far. This has been absolutely incredible. And I was just saying there, Chris, the positioning going into turn 6 seems to be so important for deciding who's leading at any given point in time. For the time being, it is Alex Longarella, but Cano seems to have just maybe flicked a switch there. He is settled into P3, but he's climbing up the rankings here, and with a rider of his caliber, you know that he knows what he's doing, and he's just waiting for his moment. For the time being, he's still got Bujosa and Longarella to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're about to clock off another lap. Around Jorge Lorenzo corner we go once again, and after this we'll visit it 5 more times, Connors. We're about to go clock off yet another lap. 5 to go. Alex Longarella will lead over the line as Carlos Cano then over Fernando Bujosa. Alvaro Lucas still running in 4th position. Jaroslav Karpushin. Fernando Bujosa. Again, another bizarre moment for the number 69 AC Racing Team rider, but he's still upright. So it's cost him a couple of positions, but here we look at the group behind, which got the likes of Ignacio Galan in there, leading this over Ramadipa. Gabriel Tassini's in there, Travis Borg. We tipped Travis Borg to have a moment there. The number 49, Izan Rodriguez, out of his season. He's going to fall to the back of this group. But this is for some good point scoring positions up for grabs here. This is from the number 4 of Gabriel Tassini in P8, going all the way back to P13, I think, with Carlos Martinez or Izan Rodriguez in P14. So a lot of points up for grabs here, but we're back out at the front. Alvaro Lucas has been relegated to 3rd position, but that is running a little bit wide. He's back in 2nd. Alex Longarella running a little bit wide, but gets up the inside. Then it's Fernando Bujosa coming around the end of Sector 3. Keep an eye on the number 70, the Kyrgyzstani rider, Jaroslav Karpushin, who's excelled in this race here under the scorching Jerez conditions. Starting 18th on the grid, he said, reeled off a couple of really fast mid-148s to get himself into contention for this podium battle. It would be his first in the class. And I don't have the facts on me. I would have to guess a first for Kyrgyzstan as well.
It could well be the case. I mean, he's been absolutely sensational, and you have to ask if he's capable of putting in laps like this. I mean, he's spent much of this race as the fastest rider. So where were these laps during qualifying? He could be. Would this race have been different if he'd started from the front of the grid?
Answers on a postcard, please, yeah. Connor.
But he's absolutely sensational.
Yeah, Carlos Cano has really dropped off the pace here. Last time round, that's a 150.7 he put in. That's over a second and a half, you would have to say, slower than the riders ahead of him. Has he got an issue here, Carlos Cano? He's still riding out here. Maybe perhaps he ran it wide. We didn't quite see anything there, but yeah, he's a second and a half slower than this leading group. Yeah, he still looks like he's in contention. He must have made a mistake on that last lap that we didn't quite spot. But back out front, no mistakes yet from Longarella, nor Bujosa, nor Lucas, or Jaroslav Karpushin. So, Karpushin, is he looking to make his way into the top 3 here? This group is led by Alex Longarella.
Oh, he could well be. No, it's not.
No, it's
close
Buhosa,
enough.
and that forces. Oh, that's not good
Lucas
for
as
Alex
well.
Longarella. Buhosa coming through aggressively there.
Oh.
A bad couple moments indeed for Longarella. Forced upright as he was looking to make the right-hand turn, and then he was forced even wider. That's cost him a couple of positions. Now, he's probably outside the podium places. We'll take a look here once we see, there we go, the number 45 running in 4th position is Alvaro Lucas. Looks to have a little move up the inside of Karpushin, but it doesn't quite come to fruition for the young Spaniard, and the Kyrgyzstani rider holds on to 2nd. You have to say Buhosa has done probably the majority of the leading in this race, along with Alex Longarella. Longarella wasting no time and making his comeback here. Picks off Alvaro Lucas for P3. Around Jorge Lorenzo, we get ready to go once again. Plenty of chopping and
look at that
changing
from
expected
Longarella.
here. Longarella up the inside of Karpushin. Karpushin could be in a bit of danger dropping outside the podium positions here, but let's see how it'll all fare as we come across the line with 3 laps to go. How will it change going into turn 1?
Yeah, how's he going to position himself now? Karpushin is going to try and make a move. He's not quite close enough to try and lunge in there at this turn 1 and claim P2. He's going to have to settle with where he is for the time being. Further back, it's Tessini who's still leading this group, but it's Ramadipa who's putting the pressure on.
Yeah, quite a large group here. I think it's P8 to P14 up for grabs in this chasing pack. Oh, Carlos Cano. It's the Rockin' Rodeo. How has he stayed on his bike there? Wow, oh, wow. It seemed that Cano went wide along with Ignacio Galan. Galan has actually fired himself into this group, the number 23. He's been going under the radar. He looked wide. Carlos Cano, though, out of the seat with 2.5 laps remaining, and that could have been another race 1 DNF, but he's still very much alive in this race. Let's take a look at what happened here. Running it wide, oh, on the curb. It looks like it just lost a little bit of grip, grabbed it on the curb, and then somehow managed to the rear tire managed to whip around, but he stayed on the bike. So still very much in contention, maybe for a podium, but definitely for some good points as he maintains his championship charge. Back out front, it's Fernando Buhosa, AC Racing Team rider, who leads the running. Alex Longarella, double podium last time out in Estoril. No win to his name as of yet, but he'll be looking to break his victory duck here. Fernando Buhosa broke his victory duck last time out. The number 45 now. Alex Longarella does move into the lead at the expense of Buhosa. So with 2 laps to go, it's going to be Longarella leading over Buhosa, Alvaro Lucas in 3rd position, Karpushin, Edu Gutierrez very much in contention as well, as we have also got Carlos Cano just at the back of this pack with Ignacio Galan.
Yeah, I wonder if those 2 moments that Cano's had over the course of this race have maybe knocked his confidence a bit. He's finding himself further behind, and he's not really catching up either.
Yeah, Ignacio Galan, I'm not quite sure what has happened there, because Ignacio Galan went under the radar, was part of this group, the number 23, but he's dropped seriously off the pace here. So, live championship, as you can see, 61 points as things stand, going the way of the number 45, who would hold an advantage over Buhosa and Alvaro Lucas. But it's all going to change now. Alvaro Lucas is your championship leader as things stand. So take that with a pinch of salt. Lucas running in P2. Buhosa making a move past him. At the Dani Pedrosa corner, lap and a half to go. This is the battle for 8th.
Travis Borg's just overtaken Ramadipa there.
Yeah, and a little bit further back we see a black flag for Mikey Lou Sanchez. So he's a right through penalty coming his way. But focusing on this battle for 8, Gabriel Tessini leads over Ramadipa. Travis Borg on for a top 10 finish. He'll be looking for a little bit more if it's on offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then back out front, it's Fernando Buhosa who's leading over Karpushin. Here we go then. Alvaro Lucas in 3rd position. Carlos Cano has made a comeback. Alex Longarella looking for a tighter line there. Buhosa is going to lead coming around here on to the final straight, but it's all chopping and changing in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th position. Carlos Cano, he was posting a couple of slower laps. Very lucky to still be in the race after that massive moment. But now he's very much in victory fight here. Last lap it is then, Connor.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible. Cano did so well to stay on that bike when he had that moment as well.
Oh, he's had another moment. He's been forced wide and to the back of this pack once again into 6th position. Is that the victory charge over? Izan Rodriguez is out of the race, but is that the victory charge over for Carlos Cano after a moment with Alex Longarella? Longarella has now exceeded track limits at that corner. Back out front though, it's Alvaro Lucas who's about to challenge Fernando Bojosa for the lead. He's looking to get the inside line.
Now this is going to be absolutely crucial going into turn 6. The positioning here is going to be vital for how this lap results. Look at that from Capuchin there. Who's going to get the perfect spot? Well, it looks like it might be Lucas on the inside of Longarella, but not quite.
Yeah, Bojosa does that brilliantly. Cut the nose off Carpuchin and took the wider line coming into Dani Pedrosa. Still leads over Alvaro Lucas. In 3rd place, it's Alex Longarella. Carpuchin has now dropped out of the podium position. But surely a move is going to come. Where is it going to come? It has to be at the Jorge Lorenzo corner. Will there be an opportunity before? Well, at turn 9, are we going to see anything? Not quite, yes. Turn 10, will we see another heartbreaking opportunity here? No, we're flowing around to the right. You would have to imagine if a move is going to come, it's coming at the Jorge Lorenzo corner, the final corner. And then, perhaps, out of the slipstream. So, it's Bojosa leading into the final corner. Alvaro Lucas is going to try one up the inside, as is Alex Longarella.
Oh!
Carpuchin and Cano clash. Carpuchin and Cano crash. It's a crash for Carpuchin. Cano is going on, but Alvaro Lucas is going to take the victory. The rookie rider is your new championship leader. 25 points. Brilliant. He takes advantage of all the drama at the final corner. Fernando Bojosa has to settle for 2nd. Alex Longarella, a 3rd podium in the row, but his victory race goes on. Ignacio Galán then. He had fallen off that top 6 group, but he finishes 5th after that incident between Carlos Cano. Yaroslav Carpuchin, his brilliant ride ends in the gravel at the final corner. The Kyrgyzstani rider came from 18th on the grid, but crashes out at the final corner.
I mean, there's so many
disappointment for him. All that means Kiandra Ramadipa finishes 7th ahead of Gabriel Tassini. Oh, breathless last lap, breathless final corner, vintage Jerez.
I mean, you said it from the beginning, there was going to be drama here. There was drama at the very start of the race, there was drama at the end of the race. And I feel just awful for Capuchin after such a sensational ride, for it to end in tears like that. But what a race from Alvaro Lucas, 14 years of old, and he's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but let's not focus on the negatives. Let's look at the brilliance of another rising star in the Aspar team. Another rising star from what seems an endless conveyor belt of talent within Spain. Alvaro Lucas takes a brilliant win. Double P4 in Estoril for Alvaro Lucas. Absolutely sensational debut. Well, he's only gone and done a little bit better here in Jerez. Fernando Bojosa, victorious in race 1, crossed the line 2nd in race 2 in Estoril, was disqualified for a technical infraction, but he's back on the podium here as he launches, as his championship charge really takes flight. Alex Longarella completing the podium ahead of Edu Gutierrez, the number 14, and Ignacio Galán as well, taking P5. Brilliant results for those rookies. Carlos Cano, though, you'd have to wonder how he's feeling. Very much in the fight for victory. Comes home 6th, which would be a disappointment, but you have to imagine he's somewhat relieved to pick up those points all the same, and to see the checkered flags given what happened to Carpuchin. Very unfortunate. We'll get a replay of that incident very shortly, no doubt. But all the podium trio head to Parc Fermé to get their technical checks and then to let the celebrations begin. Big hugs then down in the Aspar Junior Team box. CF Moto Aspar Junior Team box. Alvaro Lucas piling into his team. to his teammates, to his mechanics, his engineers, and everyone behind the scenes that makes his ride possible. Some non-team members getting in on the celebrations, perhaps family members of the Lucas family. We can only speculate, of course. P2 then for Fernando Bojosa. Another brilliant result from a rider who looks like he's ready to challenge for the title this year. Somewhat muted down at the Sniper Gygax team. Alex Longarelli, of course, must be happy. Put in there the podium. Indeed, he's the championship leader now. 3 podiums on the trot. P3 today. Not the victory, perhaps, that he wanted, but a brilliant, brilliant result. Yeah, a race packed with incident. Let's take a look at some of the key moments then from race 1 here in Jerez. Alex Longarella making the move up the inside, but it was Jaroslav Karpushin and Carlos Cano who went wide at the very final corner. Karpushin, it seemed, just couldn't get it right and blocking the way of Cano. Cano went on to see the checkered flag. Unfortunately, a DNF for Karpushin, but all that drama meant Alvaro Lucas took his first victory in the European Talent Cup. His first podium, his first victory, and he is down with Conor Doherty, and we can hear from him now.
That's right, Chris. I'm here with Alvaro Lucas. Alvaro, first podium, first win. How does that feel?
I'm very excited, no doubt, because it's the second race in this category, and I won. I want to thank my team because he got good job this weekend, and I want to thank my manager, my sponsor, and my family.
And in Spanish, please.
Ha sido una carrera muy difícil, muy complicada, en un grupo, y quiero agradecer esta carrera a mi equipo que ha hecho un gran trabajo este fin de semana, y a mi manager, a todos mis sponsors, a mi familia.
Congratulations.
Alvaro Lucas is a European Talent Cup race winner, and this is how he did it. Carlos Cano started from pole position, but the number 1 dropped back to 4th, 5th position by the opening corner, with Alex Longarella and Fernando Bojosa charging through to the lead. Big drama early on as Bojosa and Gonzalo Perez collided. Evan Boxberger crashing out of the race early on. It was constant chopping and changing as a lead group began to form, often led by Bojosa. It also included Alvaro Lucas, Alex Longarella, Edu Gutierrez, Ignacio Gala, and Carlos Cano. As again another collision. Gonzalo Perez colliding into Bojosa a second time before he collided a third time with an AC Racing Team bike and crashed out of the race. The lead group very much opened up a gap towards the riders further back, but it was all about the battle for the lead. Alvaro Lucas firing it up the inside of Fernando Bojosa and Jaroslav Karpushin to lead temporarily. Little bit of a wobble then for Lucas. Bojosa take the opportunity to lead for a while before Alex Longarella also did a good bit of the front running. Bojosa was then back in front with Jaroslav Karpushin coming from 18th on the grid to put in a heck of a ride and challenge for the podium places. Late drama saw Carlos Cano out of his seat, but stay upright and stay in contention. Back out front it was the usual suspects of Bojosa, Lucas, Longarella battling for the lead, while Carlos Cano was firmly back in contention. Then the number 70 Karpushin at the final corner just got it wrong going into the Jorge Lorenzo corner, knocking Carlos Cano into the gravel. Cano saw the checkered flag, but it was Alvaro Lucas who took a maiden European Talent Cup victory in dramatic circumstances.
Fuerte el aplauso para el tercer clasificado, el piloto español, Alex.
Time for the podium ceremony then. a sight we're becoming accustomed to see Alex Longarella on a European Talent Cup podium. 3 in a row for the young Spaniards. It's a second podium of the campaign for Fernando Bojosa. Bojosa taking victory at the season opener in Estoril. Well, Alvaro Lucas, first podium and first victory in the European Talent Cup.
Here we have the trophy presented by Mr. Jean-Marc Denier, the Vice President of FIM Europe. You can just see Bojosa there. He must be frustrated having led so much of this race to not find himself on the top step of the rostrum.
It's as we said, Connor, it's not about who's leading during the race, it's who's leading over the line. And always in the European Talent Cup, that is far from certain as to who it will be until, in fact, the race is over and the check flag is waved.
Then the trophy presented by a member of the council here in the Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto.
Hace entrega del trofeo a un tipo que se la ha currado. Vaya si se la ha
And
currado.
Mr. Juan Alvarez with the winner's trophy.
Álvaro Lucas.
Gold for Alvaro Lucas for the first time in his European Talent Cup. So an extra special occasion as we listen to the Spanish national anthem.
Fuerte el aplauso para los integrantes del podium, para el vencedor, para Álvaro Lucas. Autoridades, por favor, pueden ir saliendo.
Alvaro Lucas there. What a ride. Timed his move to perfection and sealed a first podium, and more than that, a first win in the European Talent Cup. Gaseosa, says the stadium announcer. Sparkling something. Traditionally it's rosewater, I do believe, but very much a deserved gaseosa for all 3 of our podium finishes. Alvaro Lucas, Fernando Bojosa and Alex Longarella. Now we can see the standings after this incredible race 1 in the ETC. Well, it's Alvaro Lucas who won here, followed by Fernando Bojosa and Alex Longarella on the podium. In P4, Eduardo Gutierrez. P5, Ignacio Galan. P6, reigning champion Carlos Cano. P7, Ramadipa. P8, Travis Borg. P9, Gabriel Tessini. In 10th, Antoine Nativi. In 11th, Mateo Marolanda. 12th, Eneko Osorio. 13th, Ethan Sparks. 14th, Kerben Tinez. 15th, David Acosta. 16th, Mateus Tamborini. And 17th, Alfonso Almeida. In 18th, Matias Rostagni. 19th, Christian Borelli. 20th, Kensei Matsudaira. 21st, Yaroslav Karpushin. 22nd, Keanu Valle. 23rd, Joel Pons. And out, Matteo Gavarini and Ethan Rodriguez. As well as those also out, Nikola Miroslavov, Oliver Cantos, Gonzalo Perez, Evan Boxberger, and Mikey Lou Sanchez. Then the Riders' Championship standings, it's Alex Longarella who's leading with 52 points, followed by the race 1 winner Alvaro Lucas. Fernando Bojosa finds himself in 3rd, having moved up from 4th. Carlos Cano drops down to 4th. In 5th, Eduardo Gutierrez. 6th, Kiandra Ramadipa, who's also moved up. Gonzalo Perez is down 2, as is Finn Krachopwell. And Travis Borg in 9th. Ethan Rodriguez is 10th. Yaroslav Karpushin in 11th. Mateo Marolanda moves up to 12th, whereas Kim Martinez drops down 2 to 13th. Ignacio Galan up 14 to 14th. Matteo Gavarini in 15th, Mattias Tamburini in 16th, and Tassini in 17th. Antoine Nativi moves up 7 spots to 18th. Christian Borelli down 3 to 19th, as is Afonso Dakigan. 21st, Eneko Osorio. 22nd, Nikola Mirasolov. Ethan Sparks up 5 to 23rd. Duran van Krugden is 24th. Remy Georges San Juan in 25th. 26th, Evan Bogsberger, who's down 5. Also down 5 is Alberto Enriquez. And David Da Costa is in 28th.
Race 1 of the European Talent Cup in Jerez certainly got us off to an exciting start to the day for the European Talent Cup, and it was an absolute cracker decided on the final lap at the final corner. But in the end, it was the number 46, Alvaro Lucas, who took a maiden victory in the class. All the riders will be back for race 2 later in the day at 2:45 local time. Make sure you join us then.